Most of what's important in training is not complicated. It's about consistency, level of effort, not just level of effort in the training, but also level of effort in being committed to high quality rest and recovery. It's about smooth progression of training load, both increasing load as you improve, but also avoiding large gaps and breaks in training. Right now I am recovering from an elbow injury and I'm just gradually moving forward with my bouldering, gradually increasing the intensity session to session, not being afraid to take one step back, but in general moving forward as the sessions progress. I'm now able to pull on an undercut and lock an undercut, which is really big progress. I'm also able to do some small campus moves and some very gentle foot off bouldering. And after a week of doing that, I was able to progress to doing some harder boulder problems, gaining confidence all the time, not being too confident, but not being underconfident to progress either. The foundation of that recovery is something that you'll never see in a vlog. It's sleep, good quality sleep. It's also good quality diet. And on top of that, you build high quality, appropriately chosen load. But the actual activities themselves are nothing fancy. I just make up hard boulder problems in Boulder. I do my endurance circuits. I do some foot off bouldering. I do some fingerboarding. I do some campus boarding. And I do some other supportive strength exercises, which are pretty basic. The key thing I think about during my sessions is really reading how my body feels. Some days you don't feel so strong and you have a moderate load in your training, and some days you feel really good and really inspired and you go for a more intense day. I do keep a very rough plan of what I want to include in my training, but I also maintain a very flexible approach and also make some decisions about what I'd like to do next as I actually start the session, as I warm up and see how I feel. We are all going to be doing a fair bit of training at home over the coming weeks and months. It is important for your risk of injury not to do nothing, not to have breaks in training if you can possibly help it. And even doing a little, even a very, very little, is maybe better than doing nothing. But on the flip side, if you're not used to some very intense strength training exercises, then it's a good idea to take it week by week with a small increment in the total load that you do. You can only build on the base that you already have, and it takes time to build a strong body. So if you're just starting out with fingerboarding or weight training or bodyweight training in these weeks when we're all stuck at home, then please do take your time. Please do progress slowly from week to week, not from set to set. And speaking of consistency, I was out a few weeks ago on the Coolin Ridge with my friend Kevin Woods, who is doing all of the Scottish Munro Hills in a single winter, and he was just telling me that he'd been doing about 800 hours of walking leading up to his current challenge. But the point is that he had made a huge base of aerobic fitness in order to be able to handle multiple Munros every single day, no matter what the weather. It almost doesn't matter the sport, the rules are the same, that consistency, progression, level of effort and commitment are key. There are sometimes some complex details about training and performance, but it constantly surprises me how it's really the basics where the bulk of the benefits are to be gained, and also the bulk of the mistakes are, and that's how I ended up writing my book, 9 out of 10 climbers make the same mistakes, because I found that when I was coaching climbers, I was just saying the same extremely basic things over and over again to novice climbers and expert climbers alike.
Well, I've been out for over 2 months now, 220, so there's about 60 something to go. So I actually counted up. I did a thing where I took all the walking that I'd done last year into 2019, tallied up the amount of time that I put in, and it was something like 800 odd hours of walking. And so, you know, taking that as a base of work to then go into this. Now on this Munro winter, I might do those 800 hours compressed into 3 months, but at least the backing was there, I suppose. That's the rationale. The plan today is to finish the Coolin. The Coolin are all pretty technical, definitely the most technical Munros, and yeah, just go and, I mean the weather's sort of medium today, but it's okay, so we'll go and see how it goes. Scarin and Gillian is the first Munro of the day. We've still got a fair amount of climbing to get up to the summit. Once we're there, everything should hopefully get a bit more fast paced. So King's Cave chimney here normally gets blocked up in the winter, and we're pretty fortunate actually because it's just been passable and no more. So this whole lump, there's a huge lump of snow here that normally doesn't exist, and yeah, it's entirely buried the abseil anchor like normally for summer. So we've just threaded a little hole here and we'll abseil off of this.
You might have heard that a couple of years ago I did a really good climbing day out called the 24-8, where I did an 80 boulder, an E8 trad route, an 80 sport route, a grade 8 winter route and 8 Monroes in a day, in 24 hours. And Kevin actually filmed that. You should check out his channel and see the film of that if you haven't seen it. But Kevin has been doing all of the Monroes in Scotland in a single winter, and he's done around 220 of them and only has maybe around 2 or 3 weeks left. And so I've just come up to accompany him on the sort of top half of the Coolin Ridge, and that's what we're doing today.
So we're in the last summit here, Skura Vadi, which is my 4th Monroe today, and just heading down via a pass called Andoris, and it's just been a brilliant day.
Right.
So we could be at the Slig by 8:30 easily. So
Let's do it.
Good.